So, ladies and gentlemen, our first debate. The man you see here is Mohammed bin Tughlaq. Even if you're not a fan of history, you would have probably heard of him a lot in pop culture. He was a controversial ruler of the Delhi Sultanate, not the Mughal Empire, the Delhi Sultanate, known for his ambitious yet often disastrous policies, including the forced capital relocation to Daulatabad, the introduction of a token currency instead of gold and silver, and excessive taxation, all of which caused significant hardship and instability. Because of this, he came to be known as the wisest fool. But who would have thought that this so-called wise fool would trigger a full-blown political war with his name being at the heart of it? Yes, the renaming row is back. So amid the long-standing demand to rename roads in Delhi that bear Mughal-era names, BJP MP Dinesh Sharma and Minister of State Krishnapal Gujjar allegedly decided to change their address plates, removing Tughlaq and replacing it with Swami Vivekananda. Their new address plates, which we'll put out on your screens, now highlight Swami Vivekananda Marg with Tughlaq Lane written beneath it in brackets. Here's a look at this report.
Amidst the name change politics, we see that how two of the senior leaders of the BJP, including one union minister, have changed their residence address to Swami Vivekananda Marg instead of Tughlaq Lane. So this is the residence of Dr. Dinesh Sharma, currently the Rajya Sabha member of the BJP and former Deputy Chief Minister of UP, which clearly says that this is Swami Vivekananda Marg, but in the bracket, Tughlaq Lane is also mentioned. So this is basically Tughlaq Lane, but now we see that how Dinesh Sharma has changed the name to Swami Vivekananda Marg. Now, just beside his house, there is 8 Tughlaq Lane, which is the residence of Union Minister Krishnapal Gujjar, where also we can see that how the nameplate has been changed and Swami Vivekananda Marg has been added to the address. Though the name of Tughlaq Lane is there, but it's in the bracket, but primarily it's Swami Vivekananda Marg, which is written over here in the nameplate. Now, it comes at a time when the opposition has been attacking the BJP, saying that BJP wants to indulge in name change politics because they want to divert the attention of people of the country from misgovernance and the economic crisis that is prevalent in the country, while the BJP has been saying this, that we need to get rid of the Islamic mindset, get rid of the slavery mindset, and hence the names which are there of the Indian icons, they should be put on the roads. Now, another house over here, just few houses away, is of the senior official from the Navy, who has also changed his address to Swami Vivekananda Marg.
Now, this comes just days after BJP leaders proposed renaming several areas of the national capital. As expected, the address plate change has sparked a political slugfest, while BJP MP Dinesh Sharma has said that it is his desire to change the name of the road to Swami Vivekananda Marg, but he has also acknowledged that it cannot be done without government permission. The opposition, though, claims this is an attempt to divert attention. The Congress and SP have also accused the BJP of not truly embracing the ideology of Swami Vivekananda. Listen in.
विवेकानंद मार्ग भी लिखा है और तुगलक लेन भी लिखा है। मैं सांसद हूं, मेरे मन की इच्छा हो सकती है, लेकिन मुझे अधिकार नहीं है, क्योंकि मैं 11 साल महापौर रहा हूं। किसी भी रोड का नाम या स्थान का नाम, चौराहे का नाम, पार्क का नाम बदलने का अधिकार जो नगर निकाय है, उसको या सरकार को होता है। और अगर इस प्रकार की चर्चाएं कहीं आती हैं तो इसका निर्णय वही लोग करते हैं।
देश के लोगों की भावनाएं हैं स्वामी विवेकानंद के प्रति, हम खुद उनको आदर्श मानते हैं, इस देश का युवा उनको आदर्श मानता है। दुनिया में देश की प्रतिष्ठा बढ़ाने वाले स्वामी विवेकानंद जी हैं। तो ये हमारी आस्था है कि हम अपने घर के सामने के रास्ते को स्वामी विवेकानंद का रास्ता।
देखिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी जब जनता की लड़ाई नहीं लड़ेगी, मुद्दों की लड़ाई जब उसके पास नहीं है और जनता के मुद्दों को जब भटकाना हो तो उस प्रकार की राजनीति करती है, वो उनको मुबारक। वैसे तो गुजरात में सरदार पटेल स्टेडियम का नाम मूर्ख राजा ने बदलकर अपने नाम पर कर दिया है, तो क्या कहेंगे कि वो भी तो मूर्ख है। जो सरदार पटेल का नाम मिटाने का जो कोशिश करे, उससे बड़ी मूर्खता तो क्या हो सकती है।
बीजेपी स्वयं अपने आप में एक संविधान है। वो देश के बाबा साहब भीमराव अम्बेडकर के बनाए संविधान, नियमों कानूनों को नहीं मानती हैं। इस तरह की चीजें लगातार सामने देखने को मिलती हैं। लेकिन मैं इतना जानता हूं कि बीजेपी कुछ भी कह ले, कोई तुगलक का रोड का नाम बदल ले, अकबर रोड का नाम बदल ले, जिस भी रोड का नाम बदलना बदल ले, तुम्हारे दिल में इस देश के आम नागरिक, जिसको हम पीडीए परिवार कहते हैं, उसके लिए कोई जगह नहीं है। पिछड़ों के लिए कोई सम्मान नहीं है, और आपको जो हमारे दलित कम्युनिटी है उनके लिए कोई सम्मान नहीं है। उनके आइकॉन के लिए आपको कोई किसी तरीके की चीजें आप लोगों ने नहीं करी हैं।
Ladies and gentlemen, renaming cities and towns in India is not new, because we know Bombay became Mumbai in 96 and Calcutta became Kolkata. But the trend, as we see on your screen, has really kicked in after the BJP came to power, with cities like Allahabad becoming Prayagraj, Faizabad becoming Ayodhya. The stated rationale behind these changes is often framed as an effort to break free from India's colonial past, not just the British colonial past, but also the Islamic colonial past. But there are some big questions here. Does changing names really help us sever those ties, or are we merely distracting ourselves from deeper, more pressing, more contemporary, more relevant issues? Is it only about Naam and not Kam? And that's the first question I'm going to raise to my guests who are joining me at this point. We have Pradeep Mahaur, who is a leader of the BJP. We have Tehseen Poonawalla, who is a political analyst. And we're also being joined by two very senior journalists, Dr. Uday Nirgudkar and also Pankaj Vora. Good evening all, and thank you for joining us on this show. Pradeep Mahaur, is it just about Naam and not Kam? It's one thing. I mean, there is a debate even when name changes happen officially as to whether they're needed, whether they're relevant, whether they're a distraction tactic. But here there's not even been an official name change. Suddenly, the BJP leaders decide that no, we want to be called in Tughlaq Lane, so we'll change the nameplate. We want to be seen as residing on Vivekananda Marg, so we'll change the address plate according to our whims and fancies.
As far as this statement is concerned, Naam, Kam and all that, I listened many times. No, I just want to ask people that if you're doing something, say government is doing something, is it really possible that they'll not be doing nothing except that if there is a name change, even if there is a name change, right now the name change has not happened. It is a burning desire within the people, and this is a demand of people who will like to keep the name of Tughlaq. First of all, he is not a popular person at all. If you want to name a road, ultimately you are going to name the road by the name of temple, by the name of some geographical location. Who is Tughlaq? He is the person, even the Muslim historians, they have written that streams of blood used to flow from his palace. And this kind of a person who was a traitor, terrorist, and we want to keep his name on the road. Why
Pradeep Mahaur, Pradeep Mahaur, can you name one truly non-violent ahimsavadi king and an emperor? Even Ashoka slaughtered millions in Kalinga before he became a Buddhist.
Look, it's not a matter of whenever there is a king and there is a quarrel between two different people, right? There is a war between two different people or kingdoms. So armies can fight. That is a different issue altogether. But here we are talking about the innocent people. Did Buddha kill any of the innocent people? No. There is not a single example where any of the primitive history, means the Indian so-called real history of India, the people did not kill the common people. If even some state or some area was captured by another kingdom, there was no such thing like, looting or...
So, Pradeep Mahaurji, I have studied history to a bit. I have studied history a bit. Can you point out which year, when did this mass killing of civilians happen under Mohammed bin Tughlaq?
Look, I'm not a history student, but still, I'll tell you, there is a historian, Burani, and in his book, Tariqe Firozabadi, Tariqe Faizabadi, right? He has mentioned, there's a book, right? So he has, even Ibn Battuta, everybody, these books if you read, they have mentioned that he was a traitor. And overall, first of all, he was not an Indian. He migrated to India. This whole dynasty migrated to India from somewhere outside. Right. So why are we celebrating? What happened was Britishers, kept these names because they had a thinking that Indians might be thinking that because, they were always ruled by somebody else or the other coming from outside, so they will be accepting us more easily. So this kind of a thinking would have been there in the colonial era.
I'll get in. Let me get. Now, fair enough. We get the gist of your argument, Pradeep ji. we get the gist of your argument, Pradeep ji. Let's get in what our other panelists have to say about it. Tehseen, the one thing in which I am bound to agree with those who are asking for a name change is that when it comes to rulers like Ashok, to an extent even Aurangzeb for that matter, people may have an issue about how cruel they were, how bloodthirsty were, and all those things. At least in history, they're known to be great administrators. Even though they might have been bloodthirsty administrators, they're known to be great administrators. Mohammed bin Tughlaq is infamous for being a bad administrator. What is the point in having any legacy in his name?
Thank you so much for having me on the show. At the onset, Mohammed bin Tughlaq one evening got up and decided to completely change the currency. He said that certain currency will not be accepted anymore. And it created chaos in the country, in the kingdom that he ruled. I will leave it at that. Your audience is wise. Let me just come to the issue at hand. The BJP's obsession, and obviously coming from previous political parties of rewriting signboards, it's a masterclass in misplaced priorities. Sure, remove the names. Who cares about Tughlaq? Who cares about Aurangzeb? I think good, bad. I think they're brutal emperors. I don't think their names should be there. But does that completely change history? Does that make us? Does that end the history? It is almost as if you're putting a paintbrush or a new label on an old wine bottle or an old water bottle or whatever you have. The fact is, the issues today of Delhi are the roads have potholes. There is garbage. You have a pollution problem. You have a traffic problem. Is that going to be changed with changing the names? Except for confusing Google Map, because now they've got that put on Google Map, except for confusing the residents around of a city or town or whatever they change. What does this achieve? And for some chest thumping. And if it does, great, let the government do it officially. I'm not against it. Vivekananda is my idol. I would like that they do it. How does this achieve anything apart from them doing it unofficially? So why is this happening? Let's just get to that. It is happening because right now, even in a country like Nepal, they sent a chartered flight to get their citizens back from US and they didn't allow the citizens to come handcuffed. 90 lakh crore of your and mine and the taxpayers' money is being wiped off. You still don't have a plan B for Bangladesh, where actually Hindus are today being slaughtered, right now being slaughtered Tughlaqi style and in NGOs running in Bangladesh. You don't have an answer for Syria, where India has massive investments. You don't have an answer for our Indian soldiers killed in the peacekeeping forces in Israel and Gaza. You don't have an answer. How do you deviate? You deviate by MPs doing this. Is this a job of an MP? This is the job of the municipal corporation. They're the state government. Do it officially. What sort of deviation tactics? The last 3 days are only about old emperors. By all means, discuss them. But can we get to the present issues? How does Tughlaq or Aurangzeb or anyone solve my employment problem today?
Okay, I can sense a counterpoint in that today when the world wants to reclaim itself from colonial icons, when statues of Winston Churchill are being pulled down, the same argument also applies here. But Dr. Uday Nirkudkar, the point is this is not an official name change. Even if there is an official one, then the debate argues. What is the logic behind suddenly confusing people in Latin City? What if tomorrow I say that, no, I don't like my house in Greater Noida, I want to put up an address plate saying that I live in Marine Drive? Does it make sense?
Give me a minute. Look, we have to accept that we had a colonial past. We had a British rule, we had Mughal rule, and in parts of India, we had a French rule also. And renaming has been happening post-independent after a period of time, albeit the pace and the number have changed during this regime of BJP to a larger extent. Now, there has been a criticism that secular credentials of India is in danger and all such things are always said. But is it only done in India? Ask this question. Those who criticize this should ask the question. Is this done in only India? Was Burma not made Myanmar? Was Ceylon not named Sri Lanka? Forget about that. New Amsterdam became New York. Edo became Tokyo. Gold Coast became Ghana. That was not done by BJP government. Why it is done? It is, somebody said just now, it is not to rewrite the history. It is to kill it from my memory that we were enslaved by the people and this is not a place to celebrate slavery. Now coming to the point which you asked, there is a method, there is a provision in the law to do it. By you and me writing, we both stay at Marine Drive doesn't make our address Marine Drive. There is a process to it, and it has been followed so many times, and it has been name officially changed. And that process the state government has to write to the center. Center then has to move to the parliament. Parliament then will refer the matter to president. Everything will be sorted out, and then it will change. Ministry of Home, Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Railways. Most of these agencies will be consulted. Their consent will be taken, and then it will be. But does that stop me from saying that I don't like the name Tughlaq? And what is there in the name Tughlaq? Is Tughlaq like Raja Shivaji Chhatrapati, or is it like Rana Pratap, the man who killed his own father? Because of his taxation, thousands and thousands of peasants were left to misery. He used to gift slaves. Slavery was adored in his times. During 1290 to 1351 was the black period
Dr.
of
Uday
Indian
Nergulkar,
history.
again, see, I don't want to come in with personal, Dr. Uday, I don't want to come in with personal views, but this concept of killing his father's brothers, Ashoka killed his brothers according to Mon texts. The national tricolor of ours has his symbol in the middle of it. So let's not judge people on the basis of their actions, but I get your point. And before I come to Pankaj Vora, Tehseen, why don't you come in here? Because what Dr. Uday said in his initial part of his comment is exactly contrary to what you were saying. So why don't you rebut that point?
No, I agree with Dr. Uday. There have been many name changes, except that the BJP does it only for political gains and chest thumping. The other examples he did were not done for political gains. But look, Dr. Uday said something that was very disturbing. He said, we want to forget history. We would be terrible if we forget history. We should remember the brutality of Tughlaq. We should remember the brutality of Aurangzeb. So it never comes again. Forgetting history is exactly what I'm trying to tell you. You're trying to show people a new water bottle or wine bottle or whatever have you.
But by having streets declared in the name is not remembering brutality. It is lionizing them. Let's be honest.
Those are two separate issues. He said forgetting history. As so far as the street is concerned, I am on board, change the name, but please do it through a legal method. If MPs start breaking the law, MPs are supposed to be lawmakers. What is an MP? An MP is a lawmaker. If a lawmaker starts breaking the law, then what do you expect a common citizen to do? It is not a fantasy that you're living on Tughlaq Road and now I make it Marine Drive. It is the MP is not upholding the law of the land. The MP himself is powerful enough to go to his own state government and corporation in Delhi, get that name changed, go to Parliament because this is a central Delhi area, ask Parliament to change it and go to the Honorable President of India and ask her to sign it. If an MP who's as influential can't do it, does that mean the MP can break the law? That is the issue. I don't care about Tughlaq and Aurangzeb. I think they were terrible kings. I am on board with you. I think their names should be changed, but do it legally.
Okay, Pradeep Maur wants to comment. Pankaj Vora has been waiting, but Pradeep Maur, you wanted to make a direct point. 30 seconds, please make your counter to the pointed thing which Tehseen has been raising.
Tehseen, I am really surprised. Which rule is broken? No, what he has done is he has written the name Swami Vivekananda Road, and in bracket he has mentioned the name of the road. So which rule is broken? Which rule of the government or which rule of our constitution has been broken? Nothing, no? So
it creates mass confusion, Pradeep.
Wait a moment. Can I complete? Right. If we have, vague explanations, if you want to just explain things for the heck of it, we can do it. But as far as this MP is concerned, he had a burning desire from inside. He wanted to mention the name of Swami Vivekananda. Somehow he mentioned, and in the bracket, he mentioned the name Tughlaq Road because technically that is the Tughlaq Road till date. Still, the name is not changed. So what is the problem? Why are we second part is, why are we always saying that the BJP is doing chest thumping? If some people have a burning desire, if some people want, they have an emotional connect to some other name as compared to this Tughlaq kind of a person, then they can do it. No, they will have a desire. If they express their desire by some
Okay. No, I get your point. Rewriting history, correcting cultural injustice is not about chest thumping, it's about restoring pride. Now,
if there is something
whether history was distorted then or history is being distorted now is the big question. Okay, 1 second. Pankaj has been waiting for a really long time. Pankaj Vora, come in at this point here. Pradeep Mahaur says that as long as the original legal name, which as of now says Tughlaq Lane, remains in that address plate, and we'll have those visuals for our viewers to get clarity, remains in the address plate, it doesn't matter what is pasted above in it in bigger and bolder text. So tomorrow, if in my Amazon address I put my first location as Chennai and then my next location as Noida, it should not matter.
Look, these are, very nebulous arguments. First of all, there's a process to rename, and, there's a street renaming committee in the NDMC under which Tughlaq Lane and Tughlaq Road come. If the name has to be changed, it has to be changed through the street renaming committee. Then the whole NDMC, the civic body, will pass it, and then the government will ratify it. That is the process. And in case of the two MPs, and including a minister, claiming that it should be Vivekananda Lane, or we have the highest respect for Swami Vivekananda. But the thing is that these two gentlemen are deliberately and consciously, breaking law and are misleading people, are misrepresenting facts, and, their opponents can demand that a case against them should be registered for misleading the people. Number two, historically, now, how have you people all inferred that Tughlaq Road is renamed after Mohammed bin Tughlaq? There was a Tughlaq dynasty. There were three kings in the Tughlaq dynasty. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, Mohammed bin Tughlaq, and Firozshah Tughlaq. There's a Tughlaqabad there. There's a Firozshah Road there.
Yes.
The Firozshah Kotla, where the cricket ground is there in Delhi, is also named after, one of the Tughlaqs. The Firozshah Kotla also has a pillar of Ashoka pillar out there, which, has all the inscriptions of, in Pali of the Buddhist era, which are also there. So, this Tughlaq Road has not been named after Mohammed bin Tughlaq. It is just, ignorance which is making people think that it is named after Mohammed bin Tughlaq. I mean, history has to be seen as it is. And these people, are doing nothing else but are trying to attract attention by, putting the name, Swami Vivekananda Lane. How can they do it? They also know it. Mr. Sharma, who's former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, himself said that, in your show that he was a mayor and, this can only be done by a civic body. It can't be done. So why is he doing it? So what purpose is being served by this? You want to change a name, change it. But go through the proper procedure. Go through the proper processes. Congress changed names, also, Curzon Road is Kasturba Gandhi Marg, Arvind Road is Baba Khadak Singh Marg, and so on and so forth. I mean, but a process needs to be followed. You cannot, it's not up to the whims and fancies of any individual ki aaj mera man kiya to I'll, call it such and such lane. This is against the law. It is a breach of law, and it should be seen like that.
And I hope everyone gets the delicious irony here. And if we can have everyone on screen, because I want to see everyone's reaction to this. What we are doing is creating mass confusion as to whether this road is Tughlaq Lane or Swami Vivekananda Road. And that is exactly what Mohammed bin Tughlaq was infamous for doing. Creating mass confusion whether gold tankas work or token currency works. Whether Delhi is the capital or whether Daulatabad is the capital. So in this only pays homage to him. But the other point which Pankaj Vora was mentioning, and that is very important, Dr. Uday Nirkot. Do you see, I get your point that yes, history should be reclaimed, atrocities should not be celebrated, but do you see how facile this entire argument becomes? Because there were three Tughlaqs. If you rename Tughlaq Road legally, then the question comes, why not name Tughlaqabad Fort? Why not name Firozshah Kotla Stadium? Then by that logic, if every Muslim ruler from Delhi Sultanate to the Mughal Empire to the Nizams, if every Muslim ruler was committed atrocities, killed their fathers, killed their brothers, was a bloody ruler, then we are wiping out every museum, every road, every palace, every stadium, everything named after people who have come from 700 to 800 years of Indian history. Massive exercise. Then the counterpoint will come. The people in Bengal and Odisha will say that what about the atrocities that Marathas committed on us? People in Odisha will say what about the atrocities Ashoka committed on us during the Kalinga War? There is no end to this debate.
There is a difference in what you are connoting. Number one, nobody asked here to rewrite the history. We said the atrocities from our memory associated with that name should be taken away. Now, if that is not the case, then can we name our channel instead of Mirror Now as Emergency Now? because that word emergency is against the expression, and that is what it is being objected. Over here, why the Aurangzeb Road has been changed to APJ Abdul Kalam Road? Do we want to remember Aurangzeb and its atrocities on the Maratha rulers or the freedom struggle fighters of those days? Letting down the temples, is that what we remember? Is that what
Dr.
our
Uday, that's the
culture of
point.
this land is?
Dr. Uday, that's the point. Where do we draw the line between what was an atrocity and what was a necessity? Yes, or some rulers were more cruel than others. Aurangzeb is at the top of the list. But then if you go down, and honestly, Mohammed bin Tughlaq was known for bad administration, not for being a cruel and atrocious ruler.
Do you want Delhi to
if
be
you go
named
down to
after a
him,
bad administrator?
where does the buck stop?
Do you want Delhi to be named after a bad
That's the
administrator?
same question I asked Tehseen to begin with. But then, as Pankaj Vora has pointed out, Mohammed bin Tughlaq was not the only Tughlaq ruler. Yes, also Firoz Shah Stadium has been named to Arun Jaitley, but it was there. I mean, we still all call it Firoz Shah Kotla. So again, it's a facile debate. Tehseen wanted to come in.
Look, what's happening is, and the Honorable MP said, even on Google Map, this is not Tughlaq now, this is Vivekanand. So now you have people whose postal address is Vivekanand, Tughlaq Road. Google Map is showing you half Vivekanand, half Tughlaq, depending, and you know how Google Maps work. It works on algorithms, etc. So the fact of the matter is, somebody wants to go to Tughlaq Road or Vivekanand Road or whatever road, does not know where he's going. Anyways, that area is all circular. You'll keep borrowing chakkar and you'll reach nowhere. You're only creating a problem. Please, with folded hands, throw Tughlaq, Aurangzeb, throw whoever you want out. Please just do it legally and sensibly. To expect sense, common sense, is what we want from our honorable representatives in parliament. That's all we are asking for. And we're asking them to follow the law of the land. Just do it. Also, there was a stadium in Gujarat named after Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel that has been changed the name after the honorable prime minister. So the fact is that, look, you want to do this name-changing game, please be my guest, go ahead and do it. But even the prime minister got it changed through the BCCI and Gujarat Cricket Association legally. He didn't get it done. So take inspiration, do it correctly. Let's not make let's not confuse people here. Let's not confuse Google Map, please.
And that's my point, Pankaj Vora. We are ending up, I mean, you are having the last word, Mr. Vora. That's exactly the entire point why people want to learn from the lessons that Mohammed bin Tughlaq committed. He was an extremely confusing ruler. And today what we have done is that we have ironically paid tribute to Mohammed bin Tughlaq, because I mean, people will not know on Google Maps whether they're on Vivekananda Marg or whether they're on Tughlaq Lane.
Well, you know, it is the most ridiculous thing which could have happened. And as I again repeat, this Tughlaq Road, how have you reached this conclusion that, you know, it is named after Mohammed bin Tughlaq? You know, most of the things associated with, the good things associated with the Tughlaq dynasty were done by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. And, you know, that's how, you know, Tughlaq dynasty's name is known. The other two, you know, Mohammed bin Tughlaq is referred to as a erratic ruler who had, as per his whims and fancies, did all kinds of, you know, things which were unexpected or unacceptable. And, you know, these kind of things do not, you know, a basic thing or focus of any government or any lawmaker should be to improve the quality of life of the common people, not get into this kind of stupidity. You know, Swami Vivekananda himself would have been appalled by the kind of, you know, controversy his name is unnecessarily being dragged into. He was such a great man. He was one of the greatest philosophers of India. And, you know, we are, you know, reducing him to a lane, to a small, you know, controversy where, you know, two people have decided to name their house that it's on such and such place. I mean, it is something which is unacceptable. And people should first read history, and people should have complete background of the processes and procedures before commenting on either the changing of names or on any historical fact. Thank you.
You know, I think my entire social studies spectrum has been offended because people have not read history. They're not paying attention to the geography of Delhi as to which lane is what, and they're definitely not following basic rules of civics.
No, they've read history on WhatsApp. That's the problem. WhatsApp history from WhatsApp University.
Anyway, Pradeep Mahaurji, I don't want to I don't want this to be a debate which gangs up on Pradeep Mahaur, but Pradeep Mahaurji, basic, simple. Rules se kar lijiye. Why are you paying tribute to Mohammed bin Tughlaq with the BJP leaders behaving exactly as erratically as Mohammed bin Tughlaq was been famous for being?
If it's a tribute, it is a last tribute.
Mohammed bin Tughlaq.
And let's play the last tribute and let him go finally. So we do not have to remember him again. As far as
play a tribute honestly, pay the tribute properly with good. Pay the tribute properly. Have an inauguration in Sardar Vallabhbhai in Swami Vivekananda name. ये half baked बीच में नाम लगाने से क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
This is people's emotions. I mean, that is their emotion. No, first of all, no rule is broken. Right? It is their emotion. They have just destroyed their emotion. That's it. So what is wrong in that? They have mentioned Tughlaq Lane till the time that name exists. So that name change process will be done. This is their desire, and they wanted to communicate it. I mean, there are different ways of communication. There are different ways of sending your message. So they had some kind of a thinking. They have sent the message. What is wrong in that? That's why I'm asking.
Well, my emotion right now tells me to continue this debate, but I have to follow the rules of television broadcasting, which is why I have to take a commercial break.
But the scene about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. If you can give me this 1 minute.
I know the entire stadium is being named after Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and only the stadium has been renamed after Narendra Modi. I get that point. Yeah, yes. Anyway, thank you so much, Pradeep Mahaur, Dr. Uday Nirgudkar, Tehseen Poonawalla, and Pankaj Vora. This has been a humorous discussion. If you have found it facile and probably a bit over the top, that's what this controversy is at this point. It's needless, it's unimportant. I mean, it's facetious to begin with. But anyway, we're on the